This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the executive chairman of TinOne Resources, Mr. Chris Donaldson. Chris, always a pleasure to have you on. How are you?
Hey, Gerardo, I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me here.
The last time that you and I chatted, you teased that we would likely be chatting soon, and I assumed because I know I've been around long enough to kind of know the way that news flow tends to happen. That post Labor Day we would be having a conversation, and sure enough, you had some absolutely phenomenal results today. I'm going to read the headline, and then I want you to provide the context, and then I have a few questions. You reported, well, this is how you describe it: exceptional high grade tin drill results outside of the historic resource area, including 0.51% tin over 78 meters at the Great Pyramid Project in Australia. Now, let me take the devil's advocate point of view here. Because it's tin and because most speculators and investors aren't as accustomed to reading a release with tin grades, we know 78 meters of anything with economic grades is a very robust width of mineralization. Talk to me about how happy you are with this 0.51% tin. And then I want to get into the significance of the fact that it wasn't just outside of the historic resource area, which bodes well for a future resource estimate, but also it was within it, which helps provide the continuity that makes that geologic model hold up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, so that's part of the challenge with the tin story is that, it's not well understood, but, these grades are fantastic and better than anything that we would have expected, really. The Great Pyramid Project had a historical resource on it of 10,000 tons at 0.2%. And that was from surface down to about 40 meters. So, the main goal of our drilling campaign, which is about 5,500 meters, is to extend that, right? And both at depth, within the what would be the resource, and also laterally as well. So, and we've hit all of those targets that we had, and all of the drill results came in above the 0.2%. So the most exciting, you talked about the 0.51%, so more than 2 times above the historical grade. It's in an area that hadn't had drilling on it, so we kind of have a new zone, which is fantastic. And probably a good way of looking at it is to compare it a little bit to copper, and the price of tin right now. It had hit an all-time high about 6 months ago at $50,000 a ton, and unfortunately, it's come down to about $22,000 per ton. But it's still above the say the 5-year average. So we're in the game. Tin itself is quite cyclical, so I would expect at some point it'll pop back up. But regardless, we have results that are very good. Our goal is to update the resource, and we hope to do that, say, in the next start on it in the next 6 months once we get all the drill results back. Hopefully we have enough to put together an updated resource on it. And this is a fantastic start. And a good comparison would be if you look at a project called Taronga. First Tin bought it, I'm going to say about 18 months ago or so, for about $40 million. Australia, and they were, when it was acquired, it was about 30,000 tons at 0.17% tin. So, if we can get kind of in that range, definitely set or underpin a value for the company, and then of course we have other projects as well. But great start, and looking forward to seeing additional assays as they come in. We'll be drilling for another 4 or 5 weeks, and sending assays out and getting those results. So there's more to come as well.
You mentioned a resource update, which will be upcoming, but you mentioned that $40 million buyout of the Australian comp. Just for context there, can you provide us an update on your market cap today, even after these excellent results?
Yeah, we're about an $8 million market cap. So, $40 million is a start, I think, for us, but it's still what is that, five times where we're at today. We've just done a raise, so we've got a couple million, a little over $2 million in the bank, so we've got enough to get us to that point. But yeah, certainly a lot of upside, and hopefully if we get a little tailwind in the market as well, we'll get additional leverage on this share price.
And we're talking just one project, mind you. You have a stable of excellent projects. Can you speak to that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, we announced, I guess, 2 weeks ago that we acquired another set of projects called Radler Range. We now control, I think, 4 or 5 of the 7 tin occurrences in Tasmania. Part of the story, Gerardo, is that most of the supply is coming from, we'll call them dubious jurisdictions: Myanmar, Indonesia, DRC, and China. And from time to time, many of those countries restrict the export of tin, and that's partly what led to the real squeeze about 6 months ago. So there's definitely an appetite for tin projects in, we'll call them tier 1 in Western jurisdictions. And there aren't that many of them. And the more and more you hear from ESG companies or the Teslas of the world saying that they're really looking for where the supply of materials are coming from, these types of properties in Australia are going to become more and more valuable.
Couldn't agree more. I want to come back to the drill results. You announced results. What was it, for 15 holes? Do I recall that correctly?
Yeah, 15 holes. Were a little more than halfway through that 5,500 meter program. It was basically all of the RC holes that we had done. The assays for those come back a little quicker. We're still drilling now on some diamond holes, so that there'll be more to come. Excellent.
Talk to me about how important figuring out what the limits of the mineralization, what that looks like, because I know that there hasn't been a lot of drilling at depth, and you mentioned it being open there.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a better understanding of the structure there. So, I mean, for instance, when we were drilling deep, we were hitting some voids, but then at even further depth, we were tapping into tin again. So it appears that there's a series of folds in the area, and that's kind of information that we're getting, and we're getting a better understanding of it as all these assays come in. So that's a main objective as to what we have, just to understand the system we have. We still haven't tapped into the granite, and we suppose that there's a granite source at some point at depth underneath. So we still have some drilling to do. We have some deeper holes and some deeper IP targets that we're going to be drilling out in this campaign. And we should get a lot of information in terms of the structure and how the deposit looks when we're complete on this.
Good stuff. I know that I'm looking forward to catching up with you in Beaver Creek. I encourage anyone that's out there to come say hello to Chris, come say hello to myself. Would love to catch up with everyone. Really looking forward to it. That's one of my favorite conferences of the year. Anything to add to that, Chris?
No, I just, it's an exciting story. The markets are tough right now, but that's part of the opportunity. And we know we're onto something here. It's just a matter of how big it'll be and how quickly we can get to that updated resource.
It's called buy low, sell high, people. I can't stress it enough. You have to do the first part to get the second part right. Thanks a lot for the time, Chris.
Okay, looking forward to seeing you in Beaver Creek.
All right, chat soon. Bye now. Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.